I'm having a hard time speaking to my team because I get nervous and, my mouth runs dry, my ideas all go all over the place in my head. It's great here, but once it comes out, blah, blah, blah. I didn't really send mass email, to be honest. I did not. So when they come to you, they want to know who you are. They'll ask you the offer. You don't even need to sell it, but that's just it. So you market yourself by everything you show while you post. As a joke, I'm way older than Google.
That's funny.
Yeah, and most people go like, what?
Hello, y'all. I am fortunate enough to be here today with Mr. Stephan Cote. Stephan, who the heck are you and what are you doing here today?
Oh, who the heck am I? I'm with you because I think this is a great place to help, emerging speakers, leaders, and entrepreneurs. I think this is a great place to be. So that's the first part. So what do? I'm a leadership and communication coach, and I'm also a keynote speaker. So I travel all over the world, almost all over the world, and just do some motivational and inspirational speaking, as well as some leadership and communication training as well. So that's what I do. Just love what I do.
Cool. That's awesome. And so for you, a lot of business owners like yourself that I'm seeing kind of in that place, at what point did your business get to a point that you realized maybe it's also a good way to spend my time speaking? When did you kind of have that decision?
A long time ago. To be honest, I've been speaking for over 35 years. Well, obviously more than that because I was talking when I was a kid, but professionally speaking, I've been doing this for about 35 years. But I was working in the nonprofit and also in the corporate world. So I was doing that, selling products, helping out people, training people. That's what I did. And also on the side, it was just a side gig, just something, part-time as I do, traveled around the different countries to go and help out. And then came what we all know, the C word, the COVID. And then that changed a few things. As well for me, I'm like, what would happen if I did this full time? So my wife and I talked about it and like, maybe it's time to just give it a shot and give it a try. It's been working really well on the side, but what if we really, really dug our feet in and just go for it? And it's been going really well. So I'd say officially full-time about 4 years now, but it's just a great place to meet people, train people, you get to network with a bunch of people. It's just a great way to make a living off of what you know, your knowledge, your experience, and your expertise.
Yeah. And so for you, it sounds like you were kind of into it already, and then you made the decision, I'm going to have to take the jump and go all in. When you made that decision, what systems and processes needed to change in your business to allow you to go full-time speaking?
Yeah, well, the first place is this, right? There's a few things in your mindset that you need to change. Systems you'll have to work on, but you need to change your mindset first off. When you're starting off you're the business, basically, right? Your face becomes the business. Your voice becomes part of your business. Your mindset has to change because it's all about people won't go to you. They don't know you. Why would I call Ryan? Why would I call Stephan? Never heard of the guy. I don't even know where he is on Facebook, LinkedIn, or anything. So when you start changing the mindset of, I need to go towards people, I need to make those connections, I need to start reaching out to people I don't even know, because this is my paycheck. This will be your livelihood. This is the way that you'll be paying your bills. So you got to start changing the way you work. That's the first part. The way you think. Then the system that needs to change is that you need to start building those connections through all social medias. Mine work better with Facebook and also LinkedIn. Those are working really well for me. Instagram, different crowd, not working that well. So the systems that you need to put in place is that self-motivate to reach out, DM people, reach out to people that do this, start connecting with professional speakers as well that have been doing this a little more time than you. And then you'll find out that the systems that they built will be useful for you. So some of them are funnels. Sometimes it's just reaching out with ads. I haven't done that much on that part. It's more of a word of mouth, connections from one to another. That's where the system changed from.
That's really cool. Now, when you first started, were you doing email outreach to event organizers and requests for proposals or call for speakers pages? And then at what point did you go from just emailing them to directly messaging them through your socials instead?
Yeah, I didn't really send mass email, to be honest. I did not. That's not the way I tried it out. For some, that works perfectly. In my case, it wasn't necessary. I started reaching out directly to a few of them that I knew of. Can't say they were friends. Everybody's my friend, but can't say they were friends. We wouldn't go on vacation. We didn't work together, but I knew of them enough to say, hey, Ryan, I'm doing this full time now. I know that you often organize events and you need speakers, motivation, training. And I just want to tell you, I'm available. If you want to, I can do that. And here's a few things I could speak on. And it wasn't, if you needed more information, reach out back to me. It's like, I'm sure this will be useful to you. So when you're ready, just call me back. It's a little different. So it was reaching out to individuals specifically, even those that I didn't know, that I heard of, publish yourself also on speaker bureaus. And that's how I worked it out. And in the course of a couple of years, this was really not only a full-time job, but paid all the bills, managed just to have a decent living and have fun doing it as well.
And so I've heard a lot this term used, back of room sales or behind the stage sales. And the way I understand it is you're not necessarily paid the speaking fee, but you have a product that you sell off stage. Yeah. And the point of the appearance is just look at my credibility, look at my authority. Hey, if you want this kind of change, come talk to me back here. Have you ever kind of managed both? Or have you noticed normally if you're paid to be on stage, you're not doing back of room sales? No. Or how's that kind of worked for you normally?
So most places will allow you both, actually. Okay. Most places will allow you both. I always offer that if you want me for my post keynote, I'll be in the back. And if you want me there for dinner or even for Q&A, I'm available. I won't charge you for it. It's my time. And if you get into a Q&A and if you're in the back of the room meeting some people, those are all prospective clients. They don't know you. They've heard you. They wanted to speak with you. That's a very, very warm lead. It doesn't mean you'll get a contract out of it, but it's a warm lead. So obviously when you speak on stage, part of it is you don't necessarily say, oh, you can hire me as a coach. You can hire me as a consultant. That's not what you do. But you talk about the results of the things you do with the people you do it with. So somebody's listening and like, oh, I'm having a hard time speaking to my team because I get nervous. My mouth runs dry. My ideas all go all over the place in my head. It's great here, but once it comes out, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So I've been helping some people when they have that. Come and see me. I've got a program to help you out. And I've been teaching Ryan to get his thoughts really clear that it comes out normally and it doesn't sound like he's selling you something. So people hear you on stage and they're like, oh, well, that's me. At the end of the presentation, I'll be in the back. I'll be glad to answer all your questions. I'm in no rush. I love meeting people. Come and see me and be there. Be your normal self. That has just in February, I was doing this conference in Montreal. It was in French. Masons, for masonry. I can't do anything about masonry, but I know people. So I talk about what I do. And then during the break, I'll be outside. I'll be drinking coffee because I need some more energy. And everybody started laughing because they're all saying, this guy better calm down a little bit. Well, those conversations in the back got me 4 more contracts in 15 minutes. Those 15 minutes, I got to talk with a couple of people and said, well, I got another presentation. You're going to be there after. I really want to talk with you. Exchange numbers. And then that 4 contracts. So always be there, but you're on stage. You're the card. You're the message. Yeah. Might as well make it worthwhile for the people listening, right?
And at those gigs, of course, with some back of room sales, you're getting, is it one-on-one? Is it done yourself? Or is it done with you type packages you're selling normally one-on-one?
I'm there. I'm not trying to sell anything. They all know they all know you have something to offer.
And they want it.
And they want it because between you and I mean, if I don't want what you offer, I'm not going to go talk to you in the back.
Right.
I'll go outside. I'll go do something else. So when they come to you, they want to know who you are. They'll ask you the offer. You don't even need to sell it. They'll ask you. And most of the time, it's one-on-one conversations. I'm not asking somebody else to do it because you'll be dealing with me. So let's talk. My services are really personalized. That's why I don't speak 300 times a year. I don't want to. Could I? Yeah, but I don't want to. I want to personalize my services to what you need and make sure that when we talk one-on-one, well, what you see is what you'll get. And when I go to your event, when I speak at your event, this is going to be it. So they're coming to you and they want your services already. You have to have this in your mind. You're not trying to sell anything. Okay. You're connecting with somebody and it might finish with a handshake. It might be can we talk in a couple of weeks? I have to go back. I'll be on vacation. I'm like, yeah, sure. Not a problem. What's the best day for me to call you back? They'll tell you. I'm coming back on Monday. Give me a call on Tuesday. Fine. In the morning or in the afternoon? Oh, morning is always better because that's when I make phone calls. Great. I'll give you a call then.
Easy.
Yeah. People actually tell you what they want if you're not trying to sell.
And what happens, I don't know if you've had this happen to you before, but when someone in the back of the room after you've given a fantastic gig, they come up to you and they say, hey, I saw how you did this. Can you help me with this? If that's not one of your services or one of your programs, but it's something you know how to do, but you realize, is it worth my time kind of spreading myself thin, doing a new package, rolling it out for this person specifically? Well, they're going to pay good money for it, but is it worth my time to do this? How do you deal with those kinds of situations?
So it happens. Sometimes people ask you for something and you're like, oh, I know how to do this. Haven't done it in a while, or maybe it's not part of my usual package of 5 to 10 talks that I do on a regular basis. But man, I think that if I work on it a little bit, give me a couple of days, I can get something really decent, really great for your team. So then that's quick math, but you don't need to answer right now. All you need to do is answer the guy's question or the lady's question. And that's what you do. I'm like, yeah, of course I do that all the time. As you know, you deal with clients all the time. So do I. And I could work that program out for you if you want to. Let me check it out. Give me time to come back after the gig, and maybe we can talk in a couple of days, and you'll be able to think about it and send me a couple of bullet point things that you would really want on this program. And I'll let you know if I can really help you. And I'll be honest with you, if I can't, I'll let you know, because I don't want to waste your time and I don't want to waste mine either. But if I can help you, I'm sure we'll find a way to work together.
One thing that I think is super unique to you, and you mentioned it, you spoke in Montreal, and before we hit record here, I was asking about your accent. And I tried to speak Spanish to you, didn't understand it. I thought maybe he's Latino or Espanol. You're from, tell the story of where you're from and the language you speak.
So my first language is French. I was raised in French. I was born in Boston, Massachusetts. Yet my parents were French Canadian. They were from Montreal. They migrated to the States, had an unplanned kid, and then they wanted to go back to Canada. So I'm a dual citizen, born here in the States. My sisters, which are all older than me, they still have to this day this New England accent. I don't because I didn't drink water. What do you want to do? I can't do an accent in English anyways. I moved back, so I learned this very neutral type of English accent, but there's still an accent to it. So I'd say about 80%, 85% of my business is done in English, 15% in French. It's great because I get to do both, which is awesome.
How do you market yourself as a bilingual speaker? Because I know it's few and far between, I think, of bilingual speakers that'll speak in and give gigs in whatever language, in English or whatever two languages it is. So how do you go about marketing yourself with congruency across platforms so people know, hey, I'm looking for a motivational speaker on team management in French. Oh, you got Stephan, but I've never seen him speak in French. So how do you know he speaks French? Oh, he did it. How do you kind of communicate that messaging?
Yeah, well, there's a couple of ways of doing that. The first part is that just about everywhere I post bilingually. Maybe not 50-50 in the content, but if I'm speaking to my English people, it might be like, I don't know, 100 words, and then I'll say 20 words in French, just so they know. Or you write a post and then you write English will follow or French will follow. So they know that you can do something bilingually. And most people, when they start talking with them, they ask the question, you don't have an American accent. You live in the South, but you don't have a Southern accent. No, I don't. I lived in a few places. And they ask me where I come from. Oh, French is my first language. That's a great business card right there. And where if you post your name also in speaker bureaus, and I would recommend that to anybody that wants to become a speaker, you can post it. Bilingual speaker. Every program can be done in French or in English, or English and Spanish, or I don't know, Dutch and whatever. That's easy to do. I even tell people I'm used to being translated. I've done translation myself, live with the speaker. It's fine. So I've done a few things. I speak in English and then translate me in Spanish. I've done things in French. They translate me in Spanish. Ryan, maybe I should start learning Spanish. I don't know, but that's not worth it now. But that's just it. So you market yourself by everything you show while you post, while you speak. If you go on my Instagram, you'll see some posts that are noted bilingually. Some of them you'll hear me speak French. So my American friends are like, I didn't know he spoke French. Well, now you do. So everywhere you post, everything you do it like who you are. If you're English, just post in English. Don't try to do something, I do not speak French very much, but don't. Just be yourself. And then you'll market yourself. You're the messenger as well. So let people discover who you are.
How has you said you've been speaking for over 30 years now. How have you seen the industry evolve from everything from socials to now even maybe whatever it's called, virtual reality or augmented reality, to all these things coming up, new methods, new events, and those kinds of things. I mean, you've been speaking since TED was like baby TED. Like I think it started about 30 years ago in Monterey.
Yeah, that was about it.
Yeah. So you've kind of seen it grow.
Yeah.
How have you seen it evolve?
Yeah, as a joke, I'm way older than Google.
That's funny.
Yeah, and most people go like, what? It hasn't always existed? Well, no. It started what, in late 90s? I was an adult. I already had kids at that time, right? So it has changed. Just go back I don't know how old you are, Ryan, but just go back a few years. Online events, what was that?
Before the C word, right?
Yeah, right. They existed, but I mean, rarely. So basically before that, you had to reach out. You sent mailers. I say that, and probably some of the people that are listening to us are like, what's that?
That's what I'm thinking. What's a mailer? Yeah. Like, is that a letter that you send to like a mailbox?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, with a stamp on it. Right? I mean, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but that's how it worked. You had to go shake hands. You had to go to the hotel that used to run all the events in your city. You had to go to the convention center, meet people, leave a card, and take their number really on a card. That's how it worked. The beauty of today, honestly, and some people are scared of it. I don't. I'm so happy that at my age, I can do this virtually with people I don't know. I can go live with people. I'm not afraid of meeting people, which happens to some people that are acting more virtually, right? I'm comfortable with both. Am I more efficient live? Probably, but still, it has changed. And the day people think they know and they get comfortable in the situation they're in, I think that's a risky moment. I mean, that is a very risky moment when you think about it, right? Online events didn't exist. Podcasts, a few years, really? So as long as you embrace that it's going to change, you'll be fine. I went from shaking hands and going to the convention center to sending an email, making a phone call. Hi, how are you? Shooting a video and then sending it. Embrace the change. The technology changes. It's okay. And it will change. You might have that augmented reality. And if you might be speaking with my big augmented reality, I don't even know what they're called, glasses, whatever, in a few years. I'll be speaking at a virtual event in my living room with my shorts on. It will look like I'm speaking to millions of people. We don't know. Maybe in a few years, I know it'll be Obi-Wan Kenobi. Can you save us? It's going to be something that we don't know. Just embrace as it grows, as it changes, and then you're good.
One of the speakers I was talking with, she was a guest on a past episode of this. She was talking about how after every gig, when she was really trying to find her voice and what connected with her audience in the beginning, she would give it a paper survey to the audience after they saw her talk, and they would say, did you like this? Did you like this? And just check a box, make it easy and simple. So for you, how have you noticed your message get more fined and tuned and honed in over the past 30 years?
Okay. Well, that's how you used to do it, right? You would ask people can you fill this out, and then you would have all the pens and just to make sure that the people could do it now. Fine. Don't give them an excuse not to fill out a feedback sheet, whatever you would call it, or survey, whatever. Now, the beauty of it is that I've got a QR code every presentation I do. Take your cell phone, guys. I know it even works with the iPhone, obviously. If you have a Samsung, it even works with that. People start laughing. Who cares? Then they scan the QR code, and as you speak, it takes 2 minutes. And I tell them, a real 2 minutes, not 15, 2 minutes. You'll have 5 questions to answer. That's it. And you can write your comments. So if there's 100 people, I can expect about 40% of them will actually fill it out. Paper, maybe 5-10% when I was really lucky. But the QR code, 40%. And the smaller the crowd, the higher the percentage. So if you get really 50 people in the crowd, it's, I was speaking to a bunch of CEOs, a C-suite, and a couple of companies just a few weeks ago. 90% of them fill it out. I mean, 90%? Would you be happy if 90% of the people you reach out to would reply to you? I was dang happy about it. So QR codes are great. Everybody's got their cell phone.
You just use Google Forms or is there another software?
I use Google Forms. Just simple.
Easy, sure.
Yeah, because I was there when it was born. So I think it's...
So that actually leads me to this other question. How do you go about integrating humor into your motivational speaking? Okay. Humor is a double-edged sword. If you try to be funny, you probably won't be, unless you're a professional comedian. I mean, some are great, they're just funny from who they are. So I don't try to be funny. I don't try.
Any speaker, you were talking about that lady just a few minutes ago. She had to find her voice. She probably sounded like somebody else for a season. I did too when I started off. You emulate before you can, innovate. It's the way it is. Copy things people do, and then you try to be better at it. Well, trying to be funny and humor doesn't fit in. If you're not funny by nature, don't try to be. It will look fake unless you take some specific classes on how to integrate humor in your speech, because you can. I do that with some people. I actually do. But it has to become natural. It has to be natural. If it seems forced, people won't laugh. You've seen speeches at the Oscars, tell a joke and everybody goes like, oh, this is cringe moment here. Ooh, doesn't go. So humor needs to be in it. In any speech, and you know this, it's a rhythm. You'll be more intense and then you'll calm down a little bit. And when you have this intense moment that people are like, oh, this is hard to hear, or I know I got to do something, release it a little bit. It can be funny at that moment. I remember once in a while I use stories of moments I failed and I look stupid and people always laugh about it because it's just funny because they've been there too, but they would never say it on stage. I do. It's good. So humor needs to serve the purpose, not just for the sake of, oh, he was funny. Well, then you're a comedian. You're not a speaker, and that's okay. But if you're going to be a speaker, humor has to serve a purpose. And if you're not good at it, well, they can reach out to me. I can help them out.
There you go. And what kind of events do you speak best at? Is it conferences, universities, corporate speaking days? What's your kind of go-to? You say, I'm a speaker at this. What is that?
Yeah, I'm probably off brand with this. I even tell speakers, niche yourself somewhere, okay? But if people ask me my niche, I'm like, I do conferences, I do workshops, I do speaking events, I do masterminds, I do training. I'm more of a generalist than I'll speak the same speech 50 times this year. Won't be my case. So I do conferences, I do keynotes. That's my favorite part, the keynote speaking. And it's got to be educational, inspirational for you to change and then give you the motivation to get going. That'll be part of it. But sometimes it's big crowds, sometimes it's small crowds. In my case, it's not the number of, can I add value to it? If I can, I'll probably will go. If I can't, sorry, I can't. Elvis has left the building. I can't help you out. But be honest with you. So find something that you're comfortable in. I'm a generalist, like I said, right? I help people better their communication, heighten their leadership skills. And I train people from masons to have better communication on when they're in their scaffold and trying to work together. I'm also helping CEOs to manage their message so that their top level managers know what to do and they message down what they need to. I do both and I love doing both. And if I only did one, I think I'd be bored.
And how have you gone about evolving your speaking fee over the past 30 years? When you started, it was what? And then you made your first increase when this happened, and then your second one when this happened. How have you kind of gone about that through your career?
It's a great question. My first part is you need to pay your bills. I need to pay my bills, right? Money to me is not a goal. It's a tool. If I have more, I can do more of whatever I decide to do. Help out communities, help out youth that are in underprivileged areas, helps me to feed people in the city, helps me go on vacation and enjoy it. But it's not one or the other. It's got to be both. So the value that I bring is not only this. It's not only money. So it has evolved, but I don't do it for the money. The money is a side effect to what I do. So I start with the client. What's their budget? You're going to get the best of me. Give me the best of what you can. So I'll go places and they'll pay me $20,000 for one speech for 90 minutes. Yeah, it's fun. It doesn't happen every day. But it happens. And then I'm going to this one in a couple of weeks, smaller gig. It'll be $2,000. They'll cover my expenses, but that's going to be it for the same 90-minute presentation. But you know what? I like what they do. I'm inspired by what they do. So I want to be part of it. So the money is just at the end of the year, my bills paid. Was I generous with what I have? Did I help out other people? Did I add value to the people I actually trained and spoke with? Yeah, good. I'll be comfortable with that. But it has evolved. There was a moment where people said, well, this is what we got. And I was like, wow, that doesn't even pay my gas tank. No, it's not the case anymore. Great. That's the way you like it. But when you really think about it, if you're doing it with the money, then the fee is the basis of what you'll negotiate. Sure. That's how I work it. I work it from the perspective of I'll I'll add value to your event by who I am, by what I bring, by what you'll get from me. And I'll be there not for the 30 minutes of my speech, be there after if you want me there. I'm going to be adding to your event. The speaker's going to stay there all day if you want me to, right? And that's okay. If I'm adding value, this is your budget. Well, if you want to work with someone, Ryan, you will, and you'll find the way to make it happen. Same here. So the fee is not the bottom line.
Yeah, I know there's some top, and I'm curious if you've had moments like this, some top level speakers that this guy, his name's Dan Martell, for example. He's exited a few companies, so he's fine financially. And the one gig that he will always do for free is helping alcoholics or addicts.
Yeah.
Because I've been there. I want to help. I wish someone like me that had come out of it is there to help me overcome this. And those are the ones that he still does for free. Do you still have those gigs where you're so passionate about it that I want to help you? What are those gigs for you?
I got a few. Honestly, I don't have one. I have a few. My leadership story started when I was 12. I mean, I was a 6 foot tall asparagus with big hair, man. I was skinny. Oh my gosh. It was awful. And this leader came up to me. He's like, it's a summer camp. I'm just a kid, and he sees something in me because I'm leading my team to winning all the events. And he's like, there's something in this fine young man. I would not have bet $1 on me at that time. I mean, not even a quarter. But he's like, I see something in you. And he invested in time in me, and my parents were there. So guess what I do today? I'm 56. I'd say about 20% of my gigs are with people under 25. And half of those gigs are with teenagers. Somebody's got to believe in them. I'll do that anytime. Cover my expenses, I'll be good. This company will pay me way more, but I want to do this. So that's one of them. Not even a question. I love nonprofits. They don't necessarily have the budget, but I do a lot of leadership for nonprofits. I do DISC assessments. I'm a consultant with DISC. So I do DISC assessments for leadership teams so they can get people, hire the right people, and get volunteers to work with them. That I'll do for a fraction of a price, if not for free, any day.
Very cool.
Yeah, always.
Now, 2 more questions for you, and then we can wrap this up here.
Sure.
Number 1, what is one message that you have for the aspiring speaker, the professional speaker, or the entrepreneur that speaks to grow their business? What is one message you have for them?
Okay, there's a couple, but I'll tell one specifically. Keep it up. Don't stop. All you need is to stand up one more time than the previous guy. That's all you have to. I've come from Quebec, like I said, right? There's a place, it's called the Rocher Percé. It's this humongous rock. I mean, it's humongous. And there's a hole right in it. I mean, how rock can be hard. But the ocean over centuries, over millennia, dug this hole in the rock. You're the water. Just keep on knocking down what you have to. Even if it's not down yet, keep on doing it. Persevere. Be determined. Go for it. Stand up one more time. It's not a great day today. That's fine. Go for it. Just get up again. Speak one more time. My first speech was horrible.
Same.
I mean, it wasn't bad. I mean, horrible. I was listening to myself and I was like, how come I'm being paid to give this thing? I still have the notes on paper as a reminder. Where you start is not necessarily where you end up if you keep on doing the work. So if you're doing something and you're not getting the results yet, make sure you're doing the right thing, obviously. If you're doing the right thing with the right person that you are, keep on doing it tomorrow again. What I call the ESD, every single day. Bear Grylls calls it the NGU, never give up. Go for it. Whatever it is, don't give up in every single day.
Now, let's say I've been listening to you here, Stephan, and I've gotten so much value, and I'm thinking, man, if I could just have a little piece of Stephan in my pocket every day, where can I find him online?
Okay, so website, it's my name, Stephan Cote. There's no E at the end of my name, so it's Stephan, STEPHAN, COT.org. So you can find me there. You can find me on Instagram. The links are probably going to be there as well. StephanCote.coach. You can find me there. You can find me on LinkedIn. Easy. Look again for Stephan Cote. Everything's my name. And it's a different name than American names, though I am one. So it could be easy or harder to remember, but you can find me there. Go for it. Send me an email. Go on the website. You'll be able to get a 15, even a 30-minute free talk with me. That's how much I love people. So they can find me there.
There you go. Well, guys, if you found this valuable, you've been listening to him here, and you're a bilingual speaker or you want to be a bilingual speaker and you've got some questions for him, you know where to find him. Or if you're just looking at growing your speaking business, you got any questions for him, you can share this episode with that friend and have them send him a DM and he'll get right back to you. All right, guys, we'll wrap it up here. Thanks, y'all. Thanks,
Hey,
Stephan.
thank you, Ryan.
Cheers.